Something that Bipin Rawat ji, when he was alive, talked a lot about is the fact that Indian Army and the Indian Armed Forces are ready to wage a 2.5 front battle, right? So it kind of is pertinent for us to talk about the internal threats to India, where there is this ecosystem that likes to sort of push the reticence to change, to complain about change initiatives, whether it's in the government or in the army. Is there any way we can handle them? Like, how do we bring them into our fold and address those concerns?
I think this is not something that the army is equipped to do. The army is a force that generally likes to deploy kinetic measures. It's an offensive force. The Army, Navy, and the Air Force, these are not defensive either by equipment or by orientation. From the day you join the academy, there is a certain mindset that is you are exposed to, and there is a certain brotherhood that you're exposed to. And people who wear the uniform in the armed forces, Army, Navy, and Air Force, they're of a certain mindset.
Right.
I don't know about the internal threats and how the armed forces are going to be able to deal with it. Yes, they will, in unless it's a sort of a kinetic threat. But actually, I'll tell you what. Most of the threats to India's internal security are not kinetic in nature.
Right.
If you're talking about terrorism in Kashmir, that can be dealt with, and the army, the JNK police, the CRPF, the BSF, they're dealing with it. So that is one piece. That is one piece. But and if you look at the red corridor where the Naxals are there, the CRPF is there, the Chhattisgarh police, the Telangana police, and everybody together, they're dealing with it. And I think they're doing a very, very fine job. Right from Bihar to Uttar Pradesh also, this entire red corridor, I think they're
Right.
doing a pretty fine job. The problem is the ecosystem. The problem is the ecosystem. There are people who teach in universities. There are people who teach in colleges. The kind of poison that is put in the minds of the young, that I do not think our armed forces are equipped to deal with, because the mindset is different. Uh, I think what we need to do is first of all have a narrative in place. We don't have a narrative in place, and that is our biggest shortcoming. You have political parties with media cells. Every single political party in India has a media cell. The smallest party in India will have a media cell. The government of India does not have an effective media cell, and that is what rankles. So the farm laws, right? And there was such a pushback. But here are two things about the farm laws. Number one, only 3.5 states objected. Nobody else objected.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there are farmers in South India. I'm sure there are farmers in Bengal. I'm sure there are farmers in Kashmir. And I'm sure there are farmers in the West, in Maharashtra. How come? How come out of 28 states and 8 union territories, it's only people in Punjab, in Haryana, some parts of Delhi in the periphery, and Western Uttar Pradesh had a problem? I don't know. I don't know why a farmer in Telangana had no problem, or why a farmer in Tamil Nadu had no problem. And they struggle equally. They struggle equally, and they have similar concerns. But they didn't object to it. Strategic communication is where we lack, and I think when we talk about internal security threats, one essential part of it is strategic communication. That is where we lack very seriously. And I don't think we lack for money. I think we lack for intent.
Right.
Our intent is not there, and maybe we don't know how to do it, or we don't want to do it. And also, apart from this thing, like, let's look at the CAA, the Citizenship Amendment Act. All it did was put a cutoff for 2014 and said that non-Muslim minorities in these three countries, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, would be invited and given Indian citizenship, should they sort of not invited, but should they choose to apply, and we will give them a discount in number of years that it takes to be accepted as an Indian citizen. It had nothing to do with Indian Muslims at all. This was meant for foreign citizens.
Right.
The CAA was essentially meant for foreigners. It
Right.
was not meant for Indian Muslims. But there was Shaheen Bagh for such a long time. The roads were blocked, and miraculously, the day Donald Trump flew back, within 24 hours to 48 hours, Shaheen Bagh was over.
Right.
I don't know what it had to do with Donald Trump, but time and again, the hijab controversy, this Agnipath controversy, all these controversies today, nobody is talking about Agnipath.
Yep.
It went. A couple of trains were burned, or a few trains were burnt. There was massive unrest again in a few states. Again in a few states, not all. And then it suddenly disappeared the way it had come. Today, everybody's focusing on Maharashtra. Everybody's saying that who's going to form the government in Maharashtra, who's going to be the next president of India. Strategic communication, narrative building is something that we are not good at. We need to sort of, pick up the strings, right, from wherever they've been left on the ground, pick them up and get our act together. This is one of the main reasons why we let things go out of control. Farm laws were never explained. I asked a Pakistani friend, I mentioned in a video of mine, I asked a Pakistani friend, is hijab compulsory in Islam? And he told me that yes, it is. Then I asked him, all these Pakistani female television anchors, why do they appear? Yours is an Islamic country.
Yep.
Why do they appear on television without the hijab? Are they non-Muslims? He said, no, they're Muslims. I said, then see, just tell me, is it compulsory in Islam or no? Is it yes or is it no?
Yeah.
Like, for example, in Sikhism, for Sikh males, having a turban is compulsory. I'm sure there are Sikhs who do not wear the turban, who have cut their hair. But at the same time, it is compulsory by law, by Sikh law, it is compulsory. So I'm asking my Pakistani friend, can you please tell me, is hijab compulsory or not? And then he had nothing to say because obviously it was not.
You're right.
But there is no communication from our side, and we let things slide, and then we get bad press abroad, we get bad press in India, and everybody's saying, oh, India is this regressive society where everybody's out to, suppress minorities, etc., because you have no story to tell, and that storytelling must, that we must sort of invest in.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.